Welcome to the Live from South College podcast. I'm your host, Kathleen Stockham. The Live from South College podcast is your source for all South College activity, including new student information, deep dives into our 100-plus programs and concentrations, tools of the trade, and even live on location from all of our campuses. Great interviews with faculty, staff, deans, and hear from South College students and alumni in their own words. From certificates all the way to doctoral degrees, catch up with Live from South College for the lighter side of helping your dreams find direction. The amazing reach of South College covers 7 states and online, and our on-ground teams are so good and so in touch with the community, its students, and our partners. For our latest South in Focus segment, it is all about Indy today, and I am so excited to have Indianapolis, Indiana campus president Courtney Martin on the podcast. This South College leader may be a little new to the campus president seat, but she is definitely not new to tackling challenges. Hey, Courtney.
Hi, Kathleen. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. All right, so let's get into this. Tell us more about the Indianapolis campus.
Yes, of course. So South College Indianapolis is actually celebrating its 4th anniversary this year. So very excited. We are a small but growing campus that's rooted specifically in healthcare education. And what makes us special is our hands-on, career-focused approach. So many of our students often come from other careers or life paths, and they're looking for a meaningful change for their lives. We have a great team of faculty and staff who are committed to helping them succeed, not just academically, but in their future careers. And it's a really supportive and tight-knit environment, which is something I really love about our campus.
Yeah, I love that. What programs seem to be the most popular so far? You mentioned healthcare. So within the healthcare sphere, what programs seem to be the most?
Right now, nursing is incredibly popular, and we anticipate for that to continue to expand as we can proudly share that we have just been approved to launch an ASN program here at the Indianapolis campus. We already have LPN and BSN, so to have the associate degree program is very exciting. But we also have great popularity for our allied healthcare programs, specifically the radiography, the diagnostic medical sonography, surgical technology, and medical assisting. Those are also really popular. We're very lucky that our students are very passionate about healthcare and want to make a difference in healthcare. So it's exciting to watch them go from students in the classrooms to professionals in the field.
Yeah, that's great. So, okay, you're not biased or anything, but in your opinion, what makes the Indy campus maybe a little bit different from our other campuses? And of course, feel free to brag.
Good. That's a good question. Yeah, I think it comes down to, since we're one of the newer campuses, we have this incredible startup energy. There's a lot of great momentum and excitement about growth right now at the Indianapolis campus. But we're also in a really unique position because we work closely with organizations like the Suburban Health Organization and their hospitals, and that creates some really fantastic opportunities for our students in terms of clinical placements and job prospects. I think that's something super unique to the Indy campus. And because we're a smaller campus, there really is a strong sense of community. What an amazing campus culture we have. Here you get to know people on a first-name basis, including students, faculty, and staff, and we're all just working toward the same goal, and that creates a really special environment here.
Yeah, that's great. So you're relatively new to the president's role and just actually in seat for just a little while. How exciting has it been to take this on, and what's been the most, I guess, unexpected thing you've learned so far?
Yeah, it's been incredibly exciting. So I've spent a decade of my career in higher education and higher education leadership. Most recently, I served as the dean of our Pittsburgh campus, and it's been an honor and a pleasure to come to the Indianapolis campus. The transition really reiterated just how much campus culture and community matters. I know I've spoken a lot about that already, but I can't emphasize that enough. And South College, we have such great processes and resources to enhance the student experience. And I think we've done a phenomenal job here in Indy to foster an environment that is incredibly intentional about making sure that other whether it's faculty and staff or students, are supported, heard, and valued. And it's just been incredibly rewarding to see this campus community grow and develop.
So tell me a little bit more about your students. You obviously have already built quite a camaraderie with these students. And again, they're all healthcare focused. They're ready to serve their community. And I know at all of our campuses, students come from all walks of life. So tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, our students mainly are your non-traditional students. They come from a diverse walk of life, background, socioeconomic status. Many of them have been to college before. Some of them, it's their first time going to college. And we find that navigating the college going process for them requires that higher level of support, which we are very fortunate that we can provide them here at the Indianapolis campus. Our students are hungry. They have really strong educational and career goals envisioned for themselves. And it's so special that they entrust us with that gentle love and care to help them achieve their dreams.
So let's talk a little bit about you. You've obviously had a pretty incredible journey. You said you've been in higher ed for about 10 years. And I'm sure through that process, you've had your shares of ups and downs. Can you tell us a little bit more about you and your story and how you got here?
Yeah. So I think one of the most defining experiences of my life was being a kidney cancer survivor and ultimately having a kidney transplant when I was very young. So going through life-threatening illness at a young age really changed everything for me, my perspective, my priorities, and also my deep appreciation for healthcare professionals. The medical team that cared for me and my family, they didn't just save my life, they supported us with such compassion that it left a lasting impact. So I have always wanted to be a teacher. I've always been interested in education, and I started my career as a middle school and high school teacher. And eventually made my way to higher ed. But throughout my entire higher ed career, I've worked specifically with healthcare education because to me, it's such an honor to help train the next generation of those professionals. But I was also a first generation college student. I can understand how intimidating it can be to navigate higher education. And, I look at our students, many of which are balancing jobs and families and big life changes. And I know firsthand how overwhelming that can feel. And that's why I'm so passionate about the level of support and care that we provide. It's not just about education. It's about helping students build confidence and changing their lives, and seeing them succeed and knowing they'll go on to make a real difference in healthcare is just one of the most rewarding parts of my job.
Oh, that's great. So middle school and high school. So that makes me wonder, does that mean you stand outside of your office out in the hallway sometimes and tell folks to hurry up and get to class?
No, it's so funny. I used to be asked all the time, Courtney, you teach 8th graders. What? How do you do that? You must be crazy or something. And I've always said, to me, I love that age group. I love diverse student bodies because if you know how to capture that energy and rework it in positive ways, you can make magical things happen in the lives of your students. Now, I am also a firm believer in if I care about you, I'm going to give you tough love. I'm not going to sweep things under the rug because I understand how impactful that is to your success. But yes, you will always find me in the hallways here at the Indy campus, talking to students, popping into classrooms and saying hi. I love it all.
Oh, that's great. That's great. All right. So the obvious question for me, what kind of student were you in school?
Oh, boy. It's probably obvious, but I absolutely was the overachiever and bookworm of the family.
I am not surprised. I am not.
always reading, studying, loving to learn. Actually, some of my fondest memories are sitting at the kitchen table doing homework while my dad read the newspaper or helping teach my youngest sister her colors and her ABCs. But also, like being a first-generation college student, I really had to figure out how to navigate the higher education world while also managing a job and having family obligations. And that experience really taught me the importance of planning and time management and using my personal creativity to tap into higher levels of learning. I always loved teaching others. And I used to say that if I could, I'd be a professional student for life, which in a way, I still am. I'm actually currently in a doctoral program with South College's competency-based education campus. So continuing to push myself as a learner while also helping guide students through their own journeys is pretty special. But learning has always been a huge part of who I am. And I love that I now get to help others find our own path in education.
So you have a full-time job as a campus president and all that that entails. You're the CEO of the campus and you're also a doctoral student. Okay. So I have to know, what do you do in your spare time? Because it sounds like you have zero.
I'm the kind of person who just gets bored if I'm sitting still. I never settle for complacency, and I'm high octane, high energy. So believe it or not, beyond work and beyond my doctoral program, I'm very intentional about creating time for myself because that's incredibly important as an adult to take care of your passions and your time and your heart. So I spend a lot of my time, my free time, outdoors. I backpack and hike and camp and kayak and rock climb. I love the outdoors. There's just something about being in nature that resets everything for me. I'm also really involved in community theater. This has been a passion of mine for as long as I can remember. I actually recently got to reprise the role of Mary Poppins. So that's been exciting. But there's nothing like being on stage, telling a story and creating something magical with a group of people. But most importantly, I love spending my time with my 3 incredible nieces. They keep me on my toes, and I'll take any chance I get to be the fun, adventurous aunt who takes them exploring or introduces them to the world of theater.
Aunt Courtney for the win. Okay, that's great. All right. So another question. Since you've got all of these awesome healthcare programs at your campus, take yourself back to when you were 18, 19, 20 years old. If you had it to do all over again, which one of those programs would possibly you select if you had your career to do a slightly different way in the realm of healthcare?
Oh, wow. What a fun question. Oh, gosh. Oh, boy. I don't want my program directors to think I'm biased, but there is one program to me that has always fascinated me since I've started at South, and that's been the surgical technology program. Just because of how hands-on it is, specifically in the operating room, and the level of attention to detail and care they have to have to ensure the success of a surgery. It's pretty incredible, and it's exciting, and it's fast-paced, and just the level of direct support you can have with the patient. So if I were to do it all over again, I would love to go into the surgical technology program.
Same. It's funny. I interviewed senior program director and program chair Chris Blevins on an earlier episode of the podcast, and we went in deep, no pun intended, into surgical technology. And she explained to us about the count and how important the count is, and all of the different responsibilities that a surg tech has, being in the surgical suite with the surgeon, handing off the instruments, counting, keeping track of time and everything else. And I happen to agree with you. If I had it to do all over again, for sure, I love it. And they have the coolest tools. They absolutely have all the greatest equipment. And we talked about the simulated laparoscopic instrument where they can practice using the scope to go in laparoscopically. I've actually played with that myself when we first got it. I went down and oh my gosh, so amazing. I 100% agree with Surge Tech is definitely where it's at. You're in trouble now, by the way, with your other program, correct?
I sure am. Kathleen, I also got to play with the lap sim, and the coolest experience for me that I was just geeked out over it, is we actually had the opportunity to assist with a nephrectomy. And that is the medical term for a kidney removal. So of course that's a surgery I would have had through all my healthcare issues. So it was really cool to dive in there and actually simulate a nephrectomy. What a fun world.
It really is. So anybody listening, obviously, if you're in the Indianapolis area, you have 2 solid endorsements for surgical technology. I love it. Well, this has been great, and I definitely share your enthusiasm for that. Indianapolis has been obviously a very high growth, high emerging campus for us, and we have been so excited. And obviously, you taking over the leadership from the previous campus president who went on to open our newest Dallas campus. So you've had some pretty big shoes to fill, and it sounds like you are just killing it, which is awesome. The Indianapolis campus is rapidly a growing force in Indiana, and obviously under, great leadership. And I'm so excited we got a chance to do this. Thanks again for being my guest.
Yes, thank you so much. What a pleasure.
Yay! All right, so that's Indianapolis campus president Courtney Martin and a ton of info on our amazing Indianapolis campus. Did we say Indianapolis enough? Coming up after the break, we're going to talk to our Indy students in the BSN program. So we'll get to hear from them directly. These hardworking students are going to give you the straight talk on our Bachelor of Science in Nursing. We'll be right back.
When you start your new career path at South College, you'll join students from different walks of life at varying stages in their lives. Many students are going back to school to finish degrees, while others are pursuing elevated education that will help them improve their potential in their current roles or for chasing a new direction. South College offers over 100 programs and concentrations with specialized focus on associate, bachelor's, master's, educational specialist, and doctoral degrees in healthcare, business, technology, education, and legal studies. We are regularly developing new academic programs based on local, regional, and national trends. Each curriculum is designed to promote development of knowledge and skills in the associated discipline as we challenge and support our students. South College is committed to providing intellectual, social, and professional development to a diverse student body. With locations in Knoxville, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Asheville, North Carolina, Orlando, Florida, Indianapolis, Indiana, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Dallas, Texas, and Marietta, Georgia, as well as programs delivered through Competency-Based Education, or CBE, and online. We're here with you every step of the way, starting with the admissions process. To find out more, visit South College at south.edu. South College, where dreams find direction.
Welcome back. Well, it is all about Indy today. We have a chance to catch up with a current South College Indianapolis student to give us a glimpse on how it's going. I am thrilled to invite current Indy BSN student Nallely to the podcast. Hi there.
Hi, how are you, Kathleen?
I am great. Thank you so much for being here, and thanks for taking the time away from your homework.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
All right. Well, let's get into it. So tell me about you. What led you to pursue nursing?
All right, so I will start with my background. I am 36 years old. I'm a single mom of 3 teenagers. Well, not teenagers so much. My oldest is 20, my middle one's 18, and my baby is 16. And what led me to nursing was really just wanting to help people at their most vulnerable time. I think that it's such a gift and a blessing to be there for everyone when they, in certain ways, in many ways. But when it comes to nursing, it's about just doing the littlest thing and making a huge difference. And that's why I chose nursing, because whatever you do to help someone, it's just a big effect on it. Because it's a big effect on it for sure.
Yeah, you've got children at home, or in this case, young adults at home, and you're balancing that and nursing school. That has got to be quite the undertaking. Tell me about that.
It is, sorry to interrupt you, but yes, it is the undertaking. It's a challenge, but I think if not now, then when? That's one of my most favorite quotes is, if I don't do it now, then when am I going to get to do it? Have a background of being a CNA, a QMA, and a certified medical assistant, and my dream has always become a doctor. However, I have a plan to get to that, and that is obtaining my DMP. But, it's something that you just have to let go and do it. Do it for yourself, do it for your future, and do it for the future of your children, because they're watching every step of the way. I know my daughter, she compliments me a lot of my efforts, and it's hard to not give her as much as time that we used to spend back in the day. But she sees that, and I'm very proud of her as well, making her own choices and also making her own goals.
Yeah, that's amazing. Gosh, I mean, that's so motivating to hear. I'm many, many years older than you, but it's definitely always inspiring. And it's something I think as parents, we tend to forget about, is that our kids are watching us very, very carefully. So I love that advice. I think it's amazing. So a question for you, where do you want to go? You got to pass the NCLEX, of course. You got to sit and pass your NCLEX exam. But where do you want to go once you're done? Where do you want to go once you're graduated?
I want to go everywhere, but I want to start at the ER. I want to start with the ER. I want to start with ALTAC, which is kind of with the bends and the tricks. I want to be there when people are at the most vulnerable time again. To me, it's very important to be the front line. And specifically me, I speak Spanish, so I'm fully bilingual. And for example, working at the ER would allow me to just pass that barrier of having to have a translator and just automatically start treating my patients and start just getting them what they need.
Yeah, and that's something that I think for all frontline workers, whether you're an EMT, a fireman, obviously a nurse, or someone on the front line of healthcare, that's so important to be able to communicate so that that patient feels heard, cared for, and most importantly, can communicate what's going on. I love that. And ER is definitely something where you get to see a little bit of everything. So question, why South College? What led you to find South College Indianapolis?
I absolutely fell in love with their people. Their admission staff was wonderful for the very, very beginning. I had many questions. Like I said, this is not my first rodeo in college. This would actually be my second degree with South College. However, I felt that the admissions process made everything so easy, working with financials. Everyone was wonderful. The deans have all been wonderful. And it's somewhere where I highly recommend to go to for someone that's thinking about nursing school. It can be scary, especially when we talk about nursing school. You think about the big colleges. And for me, South College was the right college because of the one-on-one experience. We're starting small. However, I'm very happy with all the teachers and all the professors that have been there for me. So definitely South College is a good choice.
Yeah, that's completely fantastic. And gosh, we can just throw away all our other commercials. I think we should just listen to you. That's awesome.
Sure.
So what's been the toughest class so far? You're in your third quarter for your BSN. What's been the toughest thing so far?
The toughest thing, I will have to say, oh gosh, it has to be MedSearch 1. I did not understand why people said, oh, it's gonna be challenging, but we're gonna get you through it. And me with my background, even then, it's still it's challenging. But really, the thing about this program and the thing about South College is that they truly prepare you for success. As far as taking your prereqs, your courses, and then going into the program, knowing which classes you're taking next, that really helps you mentally to prepare for that. So even though it has been challenging, I still have the support from my professor, and I have other resources that have been just wonderful to get me through it.
Okay, so you've told me about the toughest thing. What's been the best thing so far?
The best thing is definitely the professors. You have a range of professors with lots of experience. And I don't know other nursing professors, but the ones that I know about South College they're the ones that I can trust. I can trust with anything. I can trust with advice to further my career. I can trust them with problems in my assignments. They're just truly there to teach, and they're there for the students, which is an amazing thing. I don't see... That's what truly makes South College different. Is just having that person you can go to no matter what. They're always going to be there for you.
Yeah, great. So what's one thing you won't leave home without before coming to class besides coffee?
My black pens. I can't leave without pens. You never know, and you got to have a black pen. So not purple, not pink. It has to be black.
I've pants. Yes, always good advice to leave home and not forget your pants. I love that. That's great. What advice would you give to someone looking potentially at South College Indianapolis or who might be looking at nursing? What advice do you have?
So for someone that's going to South College, my advice would be to, if you're facing a problem or an issue, to have that open communication. it's sometimes hard to find that trust to communicate, but let your professors know always what's going on so they can help you and see how, they can help you before you try to quit or what other choices you have. I think that's the best thing, is just to have that open communication with your professors and, someone that you trust at South College. And my advice for someone starting nursing school is not to give up. Just don't give up. It's not easy, and I see it firsthand because I'm an extern. I see why it's challenging. We care about people that when they need us the most. And so therefore we need to be fully prepared. It's not like you open a book and you take a test and you pass the NCLEX. It's so much more than that. It's about being at their bedside and just having a 5-minute conversation with them and letting them know that they're not alone. That makes such a difference. And that's why nursing is such a vocation. It's such a gift, really.
Oh, the goodness. Yeah, I don't think you could sum it up any better than that. In a previous podcast episode, I interviewed an accelerated BSN current student and an accelerated BSN alumni, and they both said that the best thing were the hugs from the families when care was completed and their loved one was better. The one that's a registered nurse who works in the ER said that was the best thing, was the hugs and just the gratefulness of a family when you're able to come in and you're just doing your job. But, it brings comfort to others. So that's amazing. And I love the way you said that. Well, there you have it. We've learned a few things here. Be like Nallely. Everyone, be like Nallely. She is amazing. I want to thank our wonderful BSN student from the Indy campus, for giving us the scoop on what's going on in nursing and what it's like to be a student. And in her case, she's balancing a lot. I am feeling very good about the future of healthcare in Indianapolis with this one. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, as a reminder, coming up in a few weeks, you'll hear from our financial aid team, and we're taking your questions now. Got a question for financial aid that we can answer on the episode? Please send them to South College Podcast at south.edu. What are you waiting for? At South College, we have over 100 programs in concentrations from certificates all the way to doctoral degrees across healthcare, business, technology, legal studies, and so much more. Make 2025 your best year and your best you. You've got the dream, and South College has the direction. With 10 physical campuses in 7 states, plus online and CBE, there's a pathway for you at South College. Hope you enjoyed this latest episode, and in this case, all about Indy. Thanks for joining me. More episodes are coming your way very soon. If you love it, give us some stars, and you can always send us feedback by emailing us at southcollegepodcast@south.edu. Have an awesome day, and let your dreams find direction. See you next time.